Good day. This is the final round of the 2025 Lethbridge Open. And yeah, this is the recap. Came off of a big win, a big confidence boost last round. And now we head into the final round against an opponent who is 1432 Canadian rating, but their FIDE is like around 1540 or something. They are having a great tournament, actually, considering that they were 2 points out of 4. I think they had two losses against some strong players, and then they had a couple wins. So yeah, I was like, okay, well, let's see how they're doing. And yeah, this guy is highly underrated. I mean, this individual, he had improved a lot since last year. I mean, last year was I played him last year and it was so bad. We were both terrible. But definitely we had improved a lot. He had been using a lot more of his clock time, and he just knew how to play his game better. And yeah, he had 2 losses against some strong players, and then he beat some players that were, on a little bit of a decline. I think he beat the guy I beat in the round 4 in like round 2. So yeah, coming off of a little bit of a heater, he was probably one of the most underrated players. He was like the second lowest seed, which is funny because technically I should be the lowest seed because, yeah, but my rating got inflated, but we're not going to talk about that. That's not the point. He plays everything. Knight f3 is in his database, and that's the only thing he played in the database. But last year he played e4, and then this year I think he was playing more d4. So in the games I was watching, the amount of Londons I watched, it was just ridiculous. So yeah, d4. And I was like, okay, well, if we play another London system, I know exactly what to do. I'm going to do the exact same thing I did to Jerry in the first round and just go for a fight. Knight f6. But then he plays c4. And so for me, I had to come to the conclusion of, should I play for fun, or should I play more tactical, or should I play e6 and play Nimzo, which I had not prepared. So yeah, I was like, maybe I should play g6 and go into a Grunfeld, which I know is extremely hard to play if you don't play extremely accurately, and sometimes it's a really extremely tactical, and you can try and go for a win, but usually it turns into a draw, or you can lose really badly if you misplay it. So I was like, okay, well, there was one opening that I did prepare this tournament for. So if someone played c4, I would go into the Budapest. And I know what everybody's going to say. They're going to be like, you played the Budapest in an actual, like, over-the-board classical? Like, are you insane? And yes, I know, I'm a little bit insane, but I'll tell you that this was quite a fun game. Because I had to learn how to defend like an absolute boss. D takes e5. I think he spent like 15 minutes on this move, which was absolutely atrocious. And I think the rest was like that I did was like theoretical. So I think it was like 12 moves in, and I still had an hour and 31 minutes on my clock. So yeah, knight to g4, e3. Spent a while thinking about this move too. Takes, knight to c3, bishop to b4. Bishop to d2. And my opponent played uber solid. I castled. I played knight to c6, knight b to c6, bishop to e2, rook to e8, castles, d6. And now we get a3. And so this is the most critical part of the game, because now you have to, you basically are forced to take the knight. If you play back, this is just bad. Like, you're just going to get absolutely nailed with this, even after maybe something like takes. I mean, yeah, this looks bad. Or okay, maybe, sorry, that was the wrong variation. Here, this takes, knight takes, and then knight d5. Yeah, that's the idea. And so now white has a healthy center. Sorry, I was thinking of the bishop was being trapped, but yeah, the D pawn's there. But yeah, I didn't like this variation, and I was like, okay, well, we're not going to do that. And so after a3, I was like, okay, well, take the knight. And yeah, he takes back with the bishop. Now, the funny thing is that I thought about this, and I was like, man, I really don't want to just allow his bishop to get this nice diagonal. But I didn't like how he can just harass my bishop, and my bishop would be kind of offside and out of the game. So I really didn't appreciate that. And so, excuse me. Bishop takes, and a5. This is critical. a5 is kind of a fun move because basically you have to stop b4. And this is kind of an idea in the Budapest. Usually also an idea of the Budapest, if like the pawn is not there, you can bring like your rook to a6 and like transfer it to the other side of the board, which I think is really fun. But yeah, none of that happens. Knight takes. And also, this is another crucial part of the game. I was wondering, should I take with the knight or should I take with the pawn? And I actually spent like 15 minutes, 12 minutes on this move because I was like, okay, well, let's calculate this out. So I was just like, okay, well, if here, and let's say like something like f4, I go back, like, and I was like, okay. So it couldn't just be that easy, right? So let's say he goes, we go knight takes, and then, yeah, I was like, okay, well, yeah, this position looks nice. I mean, okay, maybe he can harass my rook a little more. Maybe he can like bring his queen and stuff. But I thought this was nice. I could play like bishop f5. And I was like, okay, well, that's a more simple calculation. But then I was like, okay, well, what if we do here? Now, the problem is if the queens go off the board, I was scared about b4. And after takes, and let's say takes, I was like, okay, maybe we can go really solid, but then b5 is coming. And then I was like, well, we got to move out of the way. And then he's got like ideas of like this. And I was like, yeah, this is just bad. And yeah, of course, you turn on the computer and the computer says, yeah, this is just bad. This is just really bad for the black pieces. So yeah, I calculated all that. And yeah, but the funny thing is that after this and here, the move is f6 now. So you don't take it. And after b5 and knight e7, now it makes sense because now the knight has a nice square to go to, and then you can just lock with b6. I mean, yeah, for me, I didn't calculate f6 after that. I thought this was a forced calculation because, yeah, who wants to go f6 and then takes and then takes? I mean, okay, maybe, but yeah, I mean, it just seems a little too much. And even if, let's say we go f6, then he can maybe decline it. Yeah, he can decline it, and it's the same thing. I mean, yeah, it's possible. But I thought it was slightly worse for black, so I went knight takes because it was the more forcing variation. And then we get queen to d4, and I was like, oh, shoot. This is, dangerous. I was like, if he had just, let's say he played like something like this takes, actually, yeah, this takes here and this, I was like, oh, well, he's going to start a battery. We have like queen e7. And then I thought this was all right, yeah, and this is completely fine. And I was like, going to do like b6 and then like bishop here. Well, maybe not bishop here, maybe bishop d7. And yeah, so that's what I thought. And I was like, okay, but that's not what happened. And so, yeah, after he played queen d4, I was like, yeah, we're going to get threatened with f4. And I'm not a fan of this. And so I calculated different variations. I was like, what do we have? Like, what do we have? And the only move that I found was f6. I was like, really? Do I really have to play f6? I hated f6. In fact, I hated it so much that I thought after f6, queen check, king here, and he just wins a pawn. But what's crazy is that I think there's just this. No, not that. Sorry. Or maybe it is. No, it's bishop to e6. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so this is what I was scared about. I was like f6. I was like f6 here, right? Queen check here, and I was like, he just wins a pawn. But now looking at it, I didn't see bishop f6, or sorry, bishop e6, and I was like, oh, okay, so now this, and now you can take the piece, and now black is in the game, and it's there's no advantage for white, which is crazy. And so yeah, I was scared of this, and I was like, oh man. And so I was like, I really don't want to play it, but I was like, I think I just lose a pawn. And so I play f6 because I was just like, oh man, I'm gonna lose a pawn anyway, but I don't want mate to happen. And I was like, man, that was a really good move. And so like my heart dropped. I was like, dang, gonna be down a pawn in the Budapest, and this is happening. But then my opponent played a move that kind of shocked me a little bit, and he played rook f to d1, and I'm like, wait, what? Like, what? Like you had this check, you had a free piece, but for me, I was like, how did he not see it? So I was like, okay, well, I gotta stop this check. I mean, the only obvious move was bishop to e6, and I was like, okay, bishop to e6. Now there's no longer this. We get the bishop developed, and now I just play uber duper solid. I put everything on my dark squares, all my pawns on my dark squares, and I should be fine. b3, b6, and I was like, okay, I'm locked and loaded. This is fine. f4. Was expecting this move a mile away. I'm surprised he didn't play this earlier. Like, why not f4 now? I guess because of, like, knight c6 and black is just completely fine. But, yeah, like, here and maybe something like queen here and this. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of different ideas, yeah. I mean, these are just a few ideas that I saw. But yeah, I was like, why didn't he just play queen f or pawn f4 earlier? But I understand now. And yeah, he played b3. I'm surprised he didn't play b4 like sooner. Like, what is the point of b3 when you literally have b4? But whatever. b6, f4, and knight back. And so now the fun begins. Queen to d2, queen e7, and then he goes here. And then I'm like, what? Am I worse? And what's funny is that I was like, wait, if I go bishop to d7, which I played, I was getting confused, and I thought that these guys were switching rules, and I thought after check and here he could just win a piece. But I'm like, no, why would you sack the queen for a knight and a bishop? Like, yeah. And I was kind of looking at that. I was like, wait, maybe he can. Maybe he can, and this would be all right. But I'm like, why is he going to do two bishops and 2 rooks against a queen? And like, you're basically playing a queen and 2 bishops. Like, I started to think, and I'm like, okay, no, that's fine. So that's not even a threat. So I was like, okay, bishop back to d7. We're fine. We'll just protect, get out of this pin, hopefully rook. And yeah, the position should be fine. Rook to e1. A little confused because I was like, okay, you go here and then you go back and you still haven't moved your other rook. Like, but now I think I was starting to feel like, oh, he's going to start bringing his rooks to the middle. Let's do the exact same thing, but first I have the move. Rook a to d8. And so, yes, even though I am super uber duper solid and, you know, look like I have everything together, white has pawns, and they can chip away at my weaknesses, but it would be very hard, and you have to have, like, robot play to even break through. Or be Magnus, one of the two. Bishop to d5, check, king h8. Okay. I still was fine with this position, but then he plays a critical move, and that's b4, and that's the best move, and I was like, oh, he's just going to attack my queen side. Well, this is unpleasant. Takes. And now I thought for a very long time. In fact, I thought for about, 15 minutes? And I was like, well, b5 is coming, and there is no natural squares for the knight. So might as well go back to the home square because I'm still gonna get hit. I'd rather not get hit with b5 right away, and then have this knight completely paralyzed from the game. And so I was like, okay, well, knight back to b5. I can play bishop d6 and then bring my knight in. And I was like, okay, well, I'm hopefully holding. Bishop d4, another improvement move, basically bringing the bishops to all the diagonals and centralizing. I was like, okay, this is a very good move. And rightly so. But I was like, okay, well, can't have his bishops stay here for for much longer. Bishop to e6. The only fighting move. And what's crazy is that white has a move that holds the advantage, and that move is e4, which is crazy because let's say I take and you take here, you open up a file and basically your pawns are just all together, and white is going to be completely locked in. And yeah, this knight is on for the 8th rank. The rooks are on the 8th rank. I mean, here, this, and yeah, this position just kind of still looks bad for black. Yeah, like rook a7. It's funny, we looked at rook a7 a lot earlier in the game. I think, where was the move? After knight b8. Yes, after knight b8, me and my opponent talked about this later. He's like, oh, I was thinking of maybe rook a7. But now I was like, oh, that's a good move. And the funny thing is, after rook c8, there's this. But the funny thing is that, you know, okay, white's back into a better position after this because now this pawn's still weak. It's like there's a crazy resource I think I found. So after bishop b7, my knight is back in the game, hilariously enough, and I can play knight to c6. And so bishop takes, knight takes rook, and then takes. This is like completely even. Like there's nothing you can do. And like all the counterplay is gone for white. And I was like, what? Like I was analyzing this afterward and I was like, that is insane. So yeah, looking at rook a7, I mean, during the game, I probably would have folded. And I think my opponent should have played that. But my opponent was kind of was a little bit distressed after bishop e6 because now his bishop can't get, you know, he can't move his bishop back because I take his pawn. And actually, this is great for black because now I'm just up the pawn and my knight can get back into the game. And so, like, yeah, I mean, he was like really distraught. He's like, oh, that sucks. And so he took. And I took back. And this is a completely drawish position because, yeah, it's basically, okay, 4-on-3 technically, and then 3-on-2. And then my knight can get back into the game. He doesn't have ownership of the light squares. I can just bring my knight here, attack here, and so let's see. Let's continue on the game. Let's say something like a rook here, maybe like this. Yeah. Oh, I mean, maybe black has counterplay, but I calculated this as even, which is correct. This is even, but the only reason why this is even is because basically white has to sacrifice the pawn. So white sacrifices the pawn. He plays rook here. I take here, rook here. And yeah, the position gets even more fun. I mean, we have like, what do we have? Like, do we have just knight c6? This is fine. Yeah, this is completely fine. I mean, what else does he have? Like, trying to find the variation that works out. Oh my gosh, what? Okay, I think this is like maybe here. Yeah, this is still even. What is crazy? I just saw a line. After like all this stuff, the only move that the computer says holds for white for a draw is bishop takes f6. I don't think I would find this in 400 years. What is the point? Queen c3? Wait, what? Oh my word. Queen c. Oh. Oh, this is. Oh my gosh. What? Oh my word. That's crazy. Wow. I mean, man, this could have been interesting. I mean, yeah, wow, that yeah, I mean, if someone played this over the board, I would legitimately call them cheating. Wow. That's crazy. I mean, yeah, if the game continued on, we would probably have some real fun variations. But yeah, that is quite something. But yeah, the game after Queen takes e6, I was like, hey, you want to do a draw? I think this position looks pretty even. And I'm glad he wasn't like my last opponent in round two, where he's just snobby and it's just like the position is a draw, but he wants to play it out. I mean, okay, kind of boring, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I thought that everything would get exchanged in the end. But yeah, maybe if he played inaccurately, like let's say he played here, maybe black could have somewhat of an advantage, but I don't know. I calculated this as even after takes. I was like, well, this position is very passive compared to his strong position. And yeah, I'm just holding. And that's the only reason why. And my opponent, he's almost 100 points less than me. I mean, really doesn't count because actually technically I'm 200 points lower than him from my last tournament performance. Yeah, we did a draw, and yeah, it was a good game. Honestly, it's like held the position very nicely. There were some different intricacies. I mean, we analyzed like after this, maybe there was like something like this, but I think White can just hold this position and just be fine, and then just develop the pieces as usual. And yeah, we ended the tournament 2 points out of 5. If I can show you the SwissSys, um, basically the whole standings thing, I will. So give me just 1 second. I think I can do it. Yes. Analysis. There we go. Okay. So this is how it looks. And I'm not gonna have my camera for a second, but this was the results. So I was 12th place. I lost against 5 and 6. So yeah, stronger players. The top 5 and 6 players, they placed pretty high up there. They both got 3 points, which is crazy. Turns out that the guy that I lost to in the second round had 2 draws against higher rated players and a win, which is honestly quite impressive. So, I mean, he was on a roll as well. The guy that I beat actually placed in 11th, which is kind of funny because he won his last game. So that's the reason why. And yeah, it was much of a yeah, because of my 2 draws, I was just placed kind of in the middle of the pack. But yeah, I mean, it was a good tournament. Had a lot of fun, and it's funny because also one of the unrated guys won the tournament because his FIDE is like 2,000, but his he didn't have a Canadian rating, so that's why he's unrated. But yeah, it was a fun tournament. I mean, I have a lot to learn. It was a small tournament. It was nice and cozy. Everybody got along. There was nobody that was like mad at each other or whatever. Uh, One of the guys accidentally had his round forfeited because basically we had said, oh, we're starting at 9 in the morning instead of 10, and he came at 10, so he came an hour late. And yeah, he was extremely mad. He dropped out of the tournament. I think he dropped in the last round, and yeah, it was disappointing. But yeah, I mean, the tournament was great. I mean, I had a lot of fun, and yeah, I think everybody else had a lot of fun. I'm hosting the tournament in town here, and I think a lot of those guys are probably going to be coming to the one in town. So that tournament will be in June. So June 14th and 15th. I might play another tournament, in about a month's time. I have to still get more information, but that would be the Edmonton sectional, which has probably a lot more stronger players, and that's probably something that I would be into. But yeah, that's it for the Lethbridge recaps. Stick around. We still gonna have more game analysis. Um, Still going to practice. I got a whole bunch of new chess books for different openings, like the Dutch and stuff. Queen's Gambit Decline, fun gambits, and yeah, learning a lot still, and enjoying the process of chess. It's gonna take a while to get to Canada Mastery. I don't expect me to, do a one-off and go for a run, but this tournament gave me a lot of hope that I've gotten better, and I think I can get a good amount of wins against stronger players, and I think I can climb pretty quickly if I use my focus and use my time productively in studying chess and not just playing games and stuff. And yeah, it's gonna be fun, and I'm excited. So thank you for joining me for these recaps, and we'll see y'all around later. And like and subscribe.